Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about AEW Dynamite, June 26, 2024 review. Show was okay. I mean, it wasn't that great, I would have to say. There were some surprises from New Japan Wrestling that showed up of matches that are going to take place on the AEW Forbidden Door card, which makes it a little bit more interesting, but I liked what they had set up. They didn't need to go all out crazy and add more to it, but that's Tony Khan for you and their pay-per-views of overbooking. So what are you going to do? Main event was a tag team match with Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland against the Cage of Agony, which pretty much was repetitive of the same type of coexist bullshit with two rivalries tag teaming together against a group. So, I mean, nothing really shocking there. Will Ospreay got his ass kicked at the end of the show, though. He snatched the championship out of Swerve Strickland's hands and then got a drive-by kick to the head to end his troubles for the night. And Swerve Strickland stood tall. I still stand by Swerve Strickland retaining the world championship. I think Hangman Page will be in the tournament. It has already been mentioned that the Elite have added the wild card member. They just have not announced it yet. We will be surprised once we get to that part of the bracket. Obviously, it's going to be Hangman Page, part of the Elite, and becoming a heel, where Hangman Page is going to win his second world championship against Swerve Strickland at All In. Do I like that idea? I think that's fine. I wish that Hangman Page had some better, wins under his belt, doing something, but, it is what it is. You take what you can get, I guess, with this. But it's not terrible by any means. I think that the match being the main event of All In at Wembley Stadium is huge. And it definitely, I think they should put a really good stipulation in here. Maybe inside of a steel cage, possibly, just to add a little bit more to it if they want to. If not, then, I mean, it is what it is. They can just keep it as a normal match. But, yeah, that was also introduced. Tanahashi will be with the Acclaim against Okada and the Young Bucks in a 6-man tag team match, so that should be a lot of fun. I think that's going to be a fucking blast to watch. I would not even bet on that. By the way, if you guys are interested in betting on pro wrestling, there is a website that you can go on to, but you have to keep up with your own win tickets to claim your taxes so you don't get in any kind of trouble, as long as you're in a betting state. So if your state allows you to bet, you can go on this website. I would not do it if you're not in a betting state where it's legal, so you don't take any chances of getting in any kind of trouble. But if you are in a legal betting state, I would go on betonline.ag and place bets on that. You can place any kind of bet. There's no restrictions on how much of a bet that you want to make on the specific performer. So any matches you think that could possibly happen, that you think is going to come out to be what you think is going to be, I would bet on it because you will see some money. There are fees, though, with BetOnline. I've tried looking at other websites to see if there's any way to do this without getting fees, but there isn't. There's only one way around the fees, and that's through cryptocurrency. So if you want to try that, you can. I'm a little concerned about that. God forbid something goes wrong. That's money being misplaced or messed up with. So I'm just sticking with the old-fashioned way, directly from the checking account into the account with Bet Online, and then go from there, and then deal with the tax, the fees that they take out for withdrawal into the account, into the checking account as well. So there are kind of it's kind of a con to this, to doing that on that website. But the benefit is you can bet on wrestling and make some decent money out of it on top of it. As you guys know, I've been uploading videos on UFC. I may start doing videos for WWE and AEW predictions video and giving you guys my betting tips on that, based on the best odds to choose from, so that you guys could walk away with some good money. But anyway, let's get started on the review. We first kick-started with MJF. MJF came out, was about ready to talk, and then Garcia came in the ring. Apologize for interrupting the promo. And MJF tells Garcia to tread lightly before Daniel thanks him for the help last week. He says that here in Buffalo, everything is Daniel's business, before saying he's sure MJF is out here to run down his hometown and his family. Garcia says hi to his mother before saying he's going to do what no one else has been willing to do, and he's going to say nice things about MJF. This surprises Max and the crowd as Garcia talks about his reign as champion. MJF approached Garcia some time ago, and rather than saw him as some rookie, he saw Garcia as a pillar of this company, and if he could win enough matches, he could challenge for the world title. When he did challenge, it was one of the most embarrassing nights ever, but the loss motivated him to go on the run of his career. That run has helped him realize he doesn't have to settle for being a pillar when he can be the backbone of this company, and for that, Garcia wants to thank MJF. He also wants to let him know if he wants to talk smack now, he's going to have the city of Buffalo at his head. MJF then goes on to say he didn't come out here to run down Buffalo. He actually came out here first to soullessly shell Forbidden Door. He also mentions that he's going to be on Collision. Go ahead and get your tickets there. And then he says thank you and goes on about his business to talk about what he had to say. The two shake hands. Well, he actually then said number 2 before he was so rudely interrupted. He wanted Garcia to come out here as he had a question for him. After everything that came out of Garcia's mouth, however, MJF has just one thing to say. Thank you. The two shake hands before MJF says no one else wants to say these things, and he understands why, but no one else is on his level, though he can see one man who's getting close. MJF says he's that Garcia. MJF says that Garcia earned. Okay, whatever the fuck this person wrote does not know how to speak proper grammar. Garcia earned the praise that was given before acknowledging that he beat Garcia down a lot when they last faced off. That said, Garcia doesn't run away from the grind. Garcia is the grind. A lot of kissing ass. He then offers a match to Garcia at All In, and Garcia thanks him and says, most definitely, I'll see you there at Wembley Stadium. And then Ospreay comes out to Buffalo wanting to see their faces, which gets a big pop before Will gives a shout out to Garcia. Ospreay addresses Garcia's request for a title shot that he holds, and the wins he's been collecting to get there. He thanks Garcia for letting him get Forbidden Door out of the way and offers a shot at the International Championship next week, but not only that, but a shot at the World Championship as well. I personally do not like this. This was really kind of a shot, disrespect at MJF. MJF sat in the background in the corner, kind of really had a mug look on his face, which I didn't blame him. I think this is leading towards an Ospreay MJF match at All In. I think that's the direction that they're going. And I think Daniel Garcia may end up becoming the international champion. That's what I think is going to happen here. Possibly. Or it might become a triple threat match for all I know. I'm not sure. But I do see a pathway that MJF and Will Ospreay are going to go one-on-one at All In. That's what I believe is going to happen. And that's fine with me. I think that the direction that they're going with this, while Will Ospreay is in a championship match with Swerve Strickland, I think that's awesome. And it definitely gives us a lot of confirmation that Swerve Strickland's reign as champion is not ending at Forbidden Door. It will be ending at All In, but against a surprise opponent that we didn't think was going to be getting a shot for the World Championship at All In and actually beating Swerve Strickland. For all we know, Swerve Strickland may retain the championship and then go on to stay champion until Full Gear, possibly. Who knows? So after that, you got, and then MJF pretty much Garcia turns his attention to MJF after the offer was given to him, and he says Garcia turns his attention to MJF about his challenge for All In, but Max tells Garcia he should focus on the match against Ospreay before leaving the ring. That's more important, and Garcia gives a little dance to celebrate what went down as we see Swerve Strickland watching from backstage. Swerve Strickland talks Ospreay down for giving title shots before Forbidden Door even goes down, and then tells him to keep up his end of the bargain when they team up later tonight. Swerve walks off as Prince Nana asks, "Whose house?" The crowd responds, "Swerve's house," as Nana takes a sip of his coffee before walking off. Great. I thought this was good. This was a good opener. I had no issues with this. But it definitely gives a lot of predictability here. I'm not too concerned now that Swerve Strickland, with everything that happened in the beginning of the show, I'm not too concerned right now at this point Swerve Strickland losing the World Championship. He will be in the main event of All In, defending the world title against Hangman Page. That's what I think is going to happen. Blackpool Combat Club, Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta going up against Shingo Takaasia, Titan, and Hikaru Takahirishi. Takahirishi is actually a former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. Very good performer, by the way. Good talent overall. Really like his work there, and really enjoy his performances that he's had in New Japan Wrestling the few times that I did watch New Japan. Really miss watching New Japan Wrestling, but that promotion has been gutted out with their talent. A lot of their talent has gone the other way. They went to AEW mostly, so nothing too shocking there. Anyway, this match, Blackpool Combat Club end up winning the match altogether. So it was a disqualification, excuse me. I barely pay attention to these matches, really, honestly, guys. I'm not too keen on the week-to-week television programming, really, to be honest with you, with the wrestling and all that. I'm not. I like the pay-per-views the most, I think the television shows should be based on the stories, and the pay-per-view should be based on the wrestling. That's what it's all about. Naito's the opponent for the IWGP World Championship against Jon Moxley. Now there is a stipulation involved. If Moxley beats Naito, Naito will give up his G1 Climax spot in the tournament and give it to Moxley while he's the IWGP World Champion. I think that's pretty fucking cool. I think Moxley is going to retain the title so that he can be in this tournament. I don't know if Moxley has ever been in the G1 Climax tournament. I'm not sure. But I'm going to go with Moxley retaining the title possibly. I mean, Naito winning the title with the stipulation on the line, I wouldn't be too surprised that Naito wins. If I was a betting man, I would not bet this match. Moxley's actually an underdog in this match. I mean, it is kind of tempting to bet on him because you'll get plus money back. But yeah, I would not take the chance of losing your money. God forbid you're wrong with Moxley. So I would just stay away from this match. It's a pick'em match. I wouldn't jump to bet on this one. This is not something I would do at all. Now, Bryan Danielson, on the other hand, he's a different story. I would bet on him, but he's a minus 1,500 on betonline.ag. So I wouldn't bet on him because you're not going to get a whole lot back. You have to bet at least $150 just to get $10 back. That's just insane. That's not even worth the bet. And you can't parlay this shit either. So they won't allow you to do that on these websites. They're single bets, so you got to go based on the odds. So just look for the best odds possible that you believe a wrestler is going to win and bet on them individually. That way you have a good shot at winning something back that's worth betting on. Anyway, next up we had Jay White versus Rey Fenix. Jay White ends up winning this matchup. Not surprising there. Jay White definitely belongs in the second round. In the finals, I don't believe that's going to happen because he's on the side where the wild card is, and I think Jay White's going up against Hangman Page without a shadow of a doubt. Jeff Jarrett ain't going fucking nowhere. Bang Bang Gang come back out to celebrate the win before Christian steps out, staring down the Unified World Trios Tag Team Champions as the Patriarchy head to the ring. The champs invite Cage to step into the ring, but Christian decides better of it before he and his crew retreat up the ramp. Wow. Like, I give a shit about this match. And this is going to happen at the pay-per-view, I believe. Who fuck cares? Backstage, the Young Bucks vent their frustrations about the Acclaim beating them in the tag team title eliminator match last week before promising they will retain. When this match is happening, it's not happening at Forbidden Door, actually, so I don't know when this is taking place. They also talk about the Elite all holding gold after Forbidden Door before stating they are inserting their own wild card into the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. They then run down the stage hand for not tying their shoe before we cut back to the ring, and where the Acclaim make their way out, and they shit all over the Young Bucks. Back after the commercial break, the Acclaim addressed the match last week when they beat the Young Bucks for a future shot at the World Championship, World Tag Team titles. They exposed the EVPs for who they really are and promise they're getting those titles back, and all they have to do is beat the Bucks one more time. Bowen says the champs will have no excuses the next time they face off, with the challengers planning a strategy around when to make the challenge. He tells Buffalo to throw those scissors up, but he's interrupted by Okada and the Bucks. He said, scissors this, bitch. or some kind of shit. I couldn't make out what Okada said. But at that line, when he says bitch, it just sounds so funny. I swear to God, it's like a fucking catchphrase, personally. The Elite talk about conducting some business as they look to challenge the Acclaim and Billy Gunn to a trios match at Forbidden Door, but Billy Gunn says he's giving up his spot in the match to someone else, calling us to the screen for a video package that reveals Hiroshi Tanahashi will team with the Acclaim instead. Scissor Ace is coming, much to the chagrin of the Elite, as we head backstage for a promo from Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and that I once again cannot do justice with a recap, which is what the person who wrote this was fucking funny as shit, this recap. The backstage segment, I thought this was absolutely hilarious. Fucking Mark Briscoe is fucking great. He should be more than a Ring of Honor World Champion. I'm sorry. This guy belongs on AEW consistently every single night. And an actual official member of the roster. Anyway, Saraya, Harley Cameron and Anna Jay go up against the World Tag Team, the Women's World Champion Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Shirakura, who's challenging for the AEW Women's title. This match ended with Toni Storm getting the victory, Myra May and Mina. The trio start to celebrate before Mina steps away, grabbing a bottle to attack the champion ahead of their match at Forbidden Door, but Storm evades, forcing the bottle to crack against Myra May's head instead, and this pisses off Toni Storm, and they kind of have a screaming match with each other. Big deal. Anyway, backstage, we have Mercedes Moné talking about her Mercedes talks about being here on Dynamite while Vaquer is not, before turning her attention to Collision when the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Women's Champion is in action. She tells Stephanie to enjoy her final days as champion before Forbidden Door because Moné changes everything. Great. Obviously, that's a very predictable match anyway. We get the Learning Tree. This is a fucking joke. We were supposed to have a 6-man tag team match, but one of their members from the Learning Tree is injured with his arm. So this leads to Suzuki addressing Chris Jericho and saying that he will not be facing, not team with him, but will be facing him for the FTW Championship, and that his Learning Tree is a bogus thing, and he's looking forward to whipping his ass. And that's pretty much it. Nothing really important. Jericho slaps Samoa Joe in the face, and then Samoa Joe pretty much kicks his ass. Next up, we had Kyle O'Reilly versus Zack Sabre Jr. This was a decent matchup for what it was. Obviously, Zack Sabre Jr. wins, doesn't lose. And that's pretty much it. Nothing important there. And then the final match on the card was the tag team match, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay teaming together against Gates of Agony. This was nothing major. It was just a fucking joke. One-sided. It was like watching an enhancement talent match, and that's really all it was. And Larry told you what happened at the end. So that was pretty much the entire show in a nutshell. Not a bad show, but it was not super great by any means. I mean, last week was a hell of a lot better than this week's. And, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of last week's episode, but shit, this was far better than this week's episode. But Anyway, guys, that's all I have to say at this time. You know what to do. Hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.